let's dive into the panel discussion. Actually, all the questions that I'll be asking my esteemed guests are what some of the students brought to my attention. So stick close to your seat as we enjoy the discussion. Thank you. My disciplined mama. Engineer Nike, please, how can we drive our passion for engineering? And how can we make our vision? How can we drive our passion for engineering? And how does our vision make an impact?
Passion alone is not enough. The passion for whatever it is in engineering you're doing should impact lives, basically. Because if you just have the passion, then it's not really solving any problem, then there's a disconnect. So I think making it impact, becoming a reality to impact or solve a problem is what it is.
Please, can you add your voice to the question?
Well, I think that to drive your passion for engineering, and you are asking about how that can have an impact. I think that she said it, but then you should always imagine yourself fulfilling a goal. What problem am I solving? What is the end game? If there's no end game, then your passion is just for nothing. So once you have this in mind, then it helps you to ensure that that impact of that passion will be felt by all. Thank you.
Oh, please, you can So, Engineer Rosemary, I'm asking a different question always here. And my question is, can you share a personal experience or story about overcoming obstacles as a female engineer? What are some of the obstacles?
Okay, one that just comes to mind is language barrier. So in my experience, I've had opportunity to work in a French country. And here was I in a different country that I have never been to, that I couldn't speak their language, and yet I was leading a team to complete a project. I was leading a team to complete a project, and you realize that when you have, I'll mention one, a drilling program. If you have a drilling program, you cannot send all the crew members from Ghana to that. You will have to recruit them. And you recruiting them means that you are going to recruit locals who don't know anything about drilling, who don't know anything about engineering, and you have to communicate to their level how to do the job for you. And this barrier, as soon as I saw the job, I quickly found somebody who understood French, just a little from here. And when we got there, we had to recruit people from the community. And now you realize that the way we say things here is different from that. So now we had to trying to get data using local hands. But at the end of the day, I quickly had to adapt to be able to say something, in French for them to understand. So adaptability here, what I leveraged on was adaptability. So I think some of the soft skills that I mentioned, they come as toolbox that we quickly in the field, you can just get into the two boxes and say, no, I'm adapting, I'm changing the way I do things to overcome this issue that I'm having to successfully deliver what I have to do.
Please, can you share with us for language barrier, what else have been some of the obstacles as a female engineer?
Well, if I'm going down as a female engineer, I think our biological makeup also at some point serves as a barrier. From where I'm coming from, I do a lot of field work. When you do a lot of field work, you realize that for women, not all, but a lot of women, we are only productive to some extent 3 weeks in a month. There are sometimes you are very productive, more than 100%. More than 100%. So if somebody is doing about 8 hours, you are able to do about 14 hours. There are other times that you are doing 6 hours in a day. So that has become a barrier. And being in the field at a place where it's not conducive for you, you realize that you have to push yourself, get yourself all the things that you need to be able to stay abreast in that environment. I.e., your own self-on-the-counter medication. So for me, when I go on the field, I have everything in my backpack. I have water, I have biscuits, I have curry, I have everything is small. I have shito, I even have snake bite kit in my backpack. I have slippers in my backpack just to be adaptable. If you find yourself in an environment that is not conducive or harsh, you'll be able to just adapt yourself, pick up your backpack, and you are staying longer. I have that in my bag, I can get that. Instead of saying that, oh no, I can't do that, oh no, I can't do. These are barriers, they are harsh terrains. So these are some of the things that you put in place to cushion yourself to overcome those barriers that you have. Personally, I would say that these are personal barriers. So you know yourself, you know the things that you do. You know that at this point in time, I will have a headache. What have you put in place? So that when the headache arrives, how are you going to solve that situation while staying on the job?
All right, thank you so much. Would you like to add your voice to the same question?
I think my most difficult point was adding on the other side of life, a side profession, that's getting married and having children. So then you have to try and manage both. And now I'm facing it because I've learned over the period. Yeah. Sometimes some things must give, some things must go, so that has been one. But for me, fortunately for me, the company I've worked with it 20 years, and I haven't had obstacle from the men because the men were more of female champions. They understand us a bit in terms of, I can even tell you for a fact that he knows my clock more than I do, Immediately enter the office and see my face, he says that, Madam, where you are? Yeah. So I've had that benefit, but then the other challenge was to balance my family life and work life. But then over time, we've learned it's become better. Yeah.
And just this is not. I'm not a female engineer, but this is to ask the men. It is no more a men's world. Okay. Our females are not just an appendage to engineering. They are not just beautifying the office. Please take it from me. I have worked with a number of females, and she said in my office, my direct assistant is a female. At the level of management, actually, how many? 5?
Management of 6.
6 out of 14 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, almost 50% are females. So don't ever think that you can. Look, I believe, and I've looked at the statistics, the females, whilst in school, do even better than you, the men. They do very well. It is rather unfortunate that currently we have only 8%. I actually have, I've done a, what do you call it, a webinar before for wine. I looked at the statistics. Only 8% of our women end up practicing. A lot of them are falling by the side. And it's because of sometimes you and I. Don't let us look down on them. And you women, be bold. Don't allow certain little things. Look, I'll give an example. I met this lady, she was a young lady who came to our office. She got married, and then we were going to take, look, engineering, sometimes you go out. She said she went out. We were taking her not outside Ghana, just in Ghana, so that you grow, you learn on the job. The husband said no. And she was a young lady who had just joined the company. The husband was also an engineer. You know that. He said that no, she cannot go. My wife is a police officer. She's an assistant commissioner of police. If she has to go out to some, we will manage. We will manage. I know it. So please, you have sisters, you have mummies. If you don't want your mommy or your sister to be treated that way, don't treat another female that way. We say that, for instance, you get married. Look, the woman, like she said, they will go through their menstrual cycle. This is nothing. That is part of their nature, or that is part of, what would you say, their biological thing. So why is it that when it is that time, I call it that time of the month, and then you want to despise them? Please. Or they marry and they are giving birth, and they say that, oh, I'm sorry, told my wife, we have only 3 children. He says, well, they did be having one only. Do you think that she's the one who gets involved in sex more than anybody? Yours hasn't come. So, but we have to understand and adjust, because they are very key and they are very loyal. I'm telling you, they are very loyal. Women, they are very loyal. When we have to do something, Roberta, she can sleep in the office. She also has a husband. She has children. But when we have to deliver, she will sit and deliver. Recently, she got pregnant, and for how many weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. She couldn't come to the office. I wasn't bothered, because I knew that once she gets on board, everything will be fine. So please, let us be ready to support them.
Thank you so much, Engineer Mempo. As Engineer Nashi said, he's a champion when it comes to women empowerment. And from what he said, you can actually testify. Before I will even ask the next question, let me, give just 1 hour. I don't know, those of us who are on TikTok, you know this particular lady, Belle, who sells plantations.
Yeah.
Belle.
Beryl.
Okay, Belle. So that's Engineer Mempo's daughter. Please come in. She completed her Shasta University. And I asked Engineer Mempo, like engineer, big man in engineering, and your daughter is selling plantations, how do you feel? And when I heard his answer, I was amazed. And I hope that in the near future we encounter great men like this in our Please, my next question is, I will start from Engineer Mempo. Looking back, was there a moment when you almost gave up? If so, what kept you going? Because sometimes it's really exhausting. Thank you.
Well, I am a consummate engineer, so I have not had that opportunity to fail, but I didn't say that opportunity. And so I've never contemplated ever going back, because I have that passion. And I see that one because of my upbringing. I don't know whether I mentioned it. Yeah, I did. My father was a carpenter. He had a furniture shop. So while I was growing up, I used my hands to work. I was also a carpenter. A carpenter's son is a carpenter. Jesus' father was a carpenter. Okay. So, and I had that joy in creating things. So for me, I always say that this is the path that, or it was a calling. It was a calling, a divine calling for me to go into engineering. Of course, I've learned other things along the way. I'm also what do they call it?
Pseudo-doctor.
A pseudo-doctor, medical. I read all those, I can diagnose you, only I don't have certificates. You see? So, it is a passion that helps you to move on. But then, there are times where you are also down, where you ask yourself, is that what we really bargain for? All these divide the x, analysis, the limit as delta x approaches 0, in the neighborhood of 0. Is that what we really ask for? When you are so tired and you see your colleagues seemingly enjoying life more than you are. Because engineering, please, you are not going to be Elon Musk in one day. You are not going to be the richest. Of course, you will not be poor. You will be inside there. But it is about satisfaction. What am I really looking for? If that is what is going to satisfy me, I'm able to put food on the table. My family is okay. That's all this. Sometimes we are looking for things outside of this world, and that's where you can be pushed into doing things which are wrong and unethical. So please, young men, don't be in a rush to buy a car. My boss told me that as an engineer, you will be fine. You will be fine. Car, you may not even buy a car, but your company will get the vehicle I used in the since 2022 was a new one. I didn't buy it with my own money. Somebody bought it on the project, and I'm using it. My fuel is sorted. So those are the things that you should be worried about, and not thinking about getting rich overnight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Engineer Rosemary, please, we need your voice as well.
Well, I wouldn't say I gave up. I would say when it went down, I transformed. My first degree was in geology. I started my career as an exploration geologist. So, while on exploration project, the geotech team came, that is the rock mechanics team came, and I assisted them. And I found myself doing some of the rock mechanics geotech, so that is rock geotech. At some point in life, I realized that there was a downturn in gold price. So when the downturn came, there was not enough jobs. And there were consultants, and there was not enough jobs. We had to close down. And at that point in my life, when the company closed down, I decided that, okay, I'm going to use that to raise a family. So here I actually stayed home. I left the work, I stayed home for years. When I wanted to come back, the industry had advanced. I didn't have that skill to be able to move into that rock mechanics, designing pits and the rest. And the skill set, they needed only few people to be able to do that, so I couldn't fit in. I struggled to get a job. So then I decided to do soil mechanics, because I realized that with soil mechanics, I can do geotech everywhere. And that's what made me transform myself, went back to school, do geotech, and now mostly what I do, a lot of my projects is about soils. And mind you, it's not like there's no challenge, there's a challenge. Because coming from geology, I understand rocks better than soils. I understand, I can close my eyes and do rock, but I have to focus to do soil. But that is what I'm doing now. So I have to bring all my energy to it to be able to do that and execute it. So that's what I said. Don't stay down. think and see how you are going to get up. So that's what I can say.
Thank you so much. So anytime you fall, do well to rise. All right. Engineer Nike, please, could you add your voice as well?
I think it was when I was doing my master's, because I was on a project in Kumasi at the same time. And I had this resident engineer who wanted to torment my life. But the good news is that I had already complained to Accra what the man was doing, which I didn't like. And I'm one person, if I get it to the floor, I'll give it back to you. Same way he gave me. So I had already complained about his behavior. So having exams and combining work and combining school was a bit difficult, was a bit challenging. Like, why am I even worrying myself to do the work? But then I told myself, others are watching you. There are some girls out there. You remember my story about the village girl? There's some village girl who's looking up to me. So then I have to move. I have to go on. So that's what's actually carried me to the end. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been like everyone is exhausted, right? So just use 2 questions as 1 question, then afterwards we'll call it a day. So, Engineer Rosemary, starting from you again, how does a good CV look like? And what is the message to your younger self or anyone that sees him or herself here today?
Well, I think a good CV is being honest on the CV. Being honest on the CV. If you know AutoCAD, if you have seen AutoCAD, you haven't actually used it. There's a difference between going on a course and you being told, oh, press here, press that, and actually doing it with the work. That way, it comes with a reason. Let me put the C here, let me put the cohesion, let me put the file, let me put the state parameters, let me put this all here. So you put in the CV, AutoCAD, you can say introductory user, AutoCAD. I have used AutoCAD to map out that, and that. Just listing, AutoCAD this, AutoCAD that, integrating this into that, integrating this into that. Those are block topics that you have when you are in school. What does it do? What did you use that to do? So I have led a team of 5 to do that and that, which brought about this. So if you are in statistics, are you able to reduce budget? Are you able to increase production? Are you able to solve a problem? We are having seepage here. I was able to calculate the pipe boys. I was able to calculate the loading to be able to solve that problem. There's piping here. This is what I put in place. These are some of the materials that I put in. Concise. And then put them there. And then you highlight on your soft skills. Are you able to mobilize a team? Are you able to communicate and collaborate? Are you adaptable? So those are the things that you communicate. You don't need 2 pages CV, you just need a page. From this level, you just need a page. Because you don't have a page. Because after the CV, you just write, engineering CV, you just write it, and then now they come to the project that you have executed. Where? When? What? And even if it's a 3 months project that you did, that is what they want to see. What was it about? What role did you play in that? That is what makes a good CV. But bullet points on like subjects and then just pom. That when you look at it and say, this is academic. I don't know what I will do with this CV. So the thing is, sometimes when you even go to LinkedIn, you realize that some of them have carefully put their experience together and explained it well. And these are some of the cues that you take from them to be able to put your CV together.
Engineer
say that technical know-how should be good, but then you need to, as we have already said, adaptability, communication skills critical. Emotional intelligence, nowadays, is one of the things companies look out for. They know that the core engineering will come and do it. But then the soft skills is very essential. So as you are here, as you are developing the technical skills, pay attention to all these small skills, because sometimes in an interview, you don't really, you know what you really will do it. It's something that you can easily do, but we are looking at you in a certain light. Whether when you come, you'll be able to adapt. As he said, somebody can go to water region, run away, you're not going. I got to the office fresh. I was fairly new in the company. I got to the office and said, those days, it's not like when you are sending proposal where you can even send by email and the proposal goes. This one hard copy, you have to send. I got to the office, by the close of when the proposal team finished. Naki, can you submit this today in Kumasi? I didn't come to work to travel. But do I say no? I won't go because I'm not prepared. I went. I got to the transport here. They didn't even give me a car to go. I had to go to New Plan. But I got there. Bought few essentials. So yeah, I submitted on time and came back to a car. And I no, because I'm a woman. No. So adaptability is very, very critical in this environment that we are in. Emotional intelligence and all the small skills that because we are not good in communication. You can have a design and everything perfect, but the stakeholder, the person probably invested, is not a technical person like you, and you need to communicate the project to the person to buy in. So it is very important to take these little soft skills and learn whilst you are here.
Which is a message to your younger self. Anybody who sees themselves here today?
My younger self, I would tell my younger self to be bold, not to shrink. Because I think over time, people, yes, it's good in teams, it's a teamwork, but sometimes people take undue credit. Because I remember we sat in an office with a proposal, and then one lady said, "Oh, me and my were all there." And I'm here saying that instead of saying, "Oh, yeah, you say." But I know told them that he would to look good in whoever's eye, and then the rest of us will look whatever. But sometimes you need to speak up, and so I helped her do this and that, and then because she kept doing that over and over again, and I was like, "This is not right." So my younger self, I'll be bold to say this and that. I'll be bold to exert myself. I'll be bold to do the kind of things that I would want to do at that time that I couldn't do. Yeah.
Rosemary.
So to my younger self, I would say identify the noise and cut the noise. Things that do not serve you, you should be able to identify them and then cut them. The second one is no doesn't mean it is done. No is a redirection.
Yeah.
If you look for a job and they said no, probably they don't deserve it. Or probably they cannot pay you. That's why so you don't have to just be downhearted and say, I'm not good enough. You are good enough, you found yourself in a different environment. And the last one that I would say is that don't be mediocre. Think big. Think on a global scale. When I completed school, I was looking for jobs. I didn't take entrepreneurship, but I was looking for jobs within country. Everywhere that I went, bounced. Everywhere that I did geology. Everywhere that I went, bounced. Then I decided, okay, then let me look West Africa. Let me look West Africa. Then I found a company that does work within West Africa. That is where my career started. I was just moving across Ghana, moving up across Ghana. It was then that I gained experience that I came back to Ghana, and some companies in Ghana accepted me. But then I had gained experience from them because here we have a lot of professionals here. So you being in this massive pool, sometimes you struggle to get in. But then you don't have that much talent. So you'll be able to build your career there and then come and settle. And then you'll be able to work it out. So these are some of the key things that I'll do.
I was going to add a little bit to what sorry said, especially about the CV. And I think that it's important. Of course, penning down a few things. When you are putting together a CV, you should have different types of CVs for different job opportunities. Yes. Okay, you can have a general CV where you talk about the secondary school you went to, your hobbies, and all that. But when you are writing a CV for, okay, since we are all in engineering, for engineering, it should be bespoke. When I say bespoke, it should be for a particular purpose. So if you are, because see, the kind of experiences that we gain, they are, actually maybe you don't have experience now, but at least when you go on internship, some of the experiences you gain are wide. But then when you are asked that, oh, we are looking for a mining geologist, or we are looking for a geotechnical, bring out the geotechnical issues in the first part of your CV. Who is now going to, you don't have time looking for, where did he, you can't find it. No. In the first part, let it come out. So that anybody who sees your CV, this is the guy you are looking for. You will not even read the rest. Very important. And then also, in your CV, it is a promotional tool of yourself. You are promoting yourself. You are marketing yourself. And when you are marketing yourself, you put your best foot forward. The best foot forward is what I mentioned earlier on. Tell them the things that you want to tell them. And it should be functional. It should be a functional CV. It should be a CV that speaks to issues. And then, if you have learned some technology, and that's why you have to learn things like what my friend Clinton said was doing. Things which are outside of, you mentioned Python. When my son also read civil engineering. He has finished his master's degree. But I remember those days when he was doing the COVID, he was doing online courses in Python. And when he went out there in the US, they were asking, how did you learn all of these things? Look, the things we learn in Ghana, maybe we don't know. But I have been there before. I have been out there, where in my class we were from about 15 different countries. Okay? And we show, yes, you do things and then they'll be questioning, asking questions. So please, try and learn things outside so that you will have opportunity of putting them in your CV. Like she was saying, the technology or the softwares and things that we are using out there, if you even have the basics, you are trainable. It is easier to train you than to train somebody who has never even seen it before. You never seen a computer before in this age. And the last one, that one is psych, that is Jara. That one, the entrepreneurship, be an entrepreneur. That's why when my daughter, after reading business administration, says that she wants to apply what she has learned in school into a business. And some of the businesses, you think that she's playing. When I look at her financials and the way she's organized, but she still takes my money away. As for the girls, you say that one, that is different. I have also done the same thing. I have been an entrepreneur, and I'm telling you, sharing secrets with you. Okay, I used to even design buildings for people. Okay? And then at a point I said, me too, I see people who have never been to school, they are building. Why can't I also organize the buildings for people? So I started building for people. Okay? And making small money. Then at a point I said, I've been building for people. I've gathered some small money. Why don't I also build for myself and sell? So I've become a small-time real estate man. But there are challenges. I'm even still in court. Yesterday we went to court. But it's okay. Life is not smooth though. Life is not smooth. Some of you, when there's small challenge, and you also sometimes become, there is a lion in the street. It's a Bible verse. Because there's a lion in the street, you won't go there. You are afraid of challenges. I think I also mentioned, you are afraid that you will fail. You are afraid. Be bold! Thank you. Now you can ask a question.
Yes. So a message to your younger self or anybody who finds themselves here today.
Kwabena Dimple. Can you hear me? You know, yes, when I was like you, I used to speak to myself. Some would say soliloquizing. But I became a leader in Independence Hall. I've done this though. I became the vice president of the Independence Hall Junior Common Room this year. So I was doing small politics. Okay, it is all part of it. You grow. And those days, I had a single room 96, annex. And I had a mirror. I still remember, I can see that mirror. You know, when you enter the room, it's on the left. And that mirror, when things go down, I look into the mirror and then I challenge that image, that self. Not more than one. But maybe someone who will hear me, it's like prayer. I pray to I will get angry that you are being lazy, you are doing this, I'll be accusing him. In the same way, that's younger self. And that is why I do the things that I do, talking to younger people, so that some of the opportunities that we do not take, you take them. But sometimes they don't get it. They don't get it, and it aches my heart. But for those of you who are listening to us today, look, being here cost me money. Okay? I asked her, when she said she come, I said, I'll pay for my own flight, myself and her. And I believe, same. We'll pay for our own flights and come here because we believe in what we are doing. Because tomorrow, you will not repeat some of the errors or the mistakes that we did. Okay? You will become a better version of us. When I see you as a big man, I look at you, and sometimes, a lot of the times, it is you who will see us. They say, do you remember me? I said, I don't remember you.